Right now at 6, Galena, Kansas prepares to celebrate the 100-year birthday of Route 66.
And we've got some patchy fog out there, as you can see. We are also looking at the opportunity for at least a couple of pop-up showers or storms for some of us today. Take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a big property development could soon be coming to Joplin, the biggest in more than 50 years.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday in the 4 states.
Yes.
We've been discussing if this was a YouTube channel. Now we stream,
Yes.
we don't stream on YouTube except for severe weather, but
Right.
our newscasts are on YouTube. We
Yes,
stream
they
on
are.
the KOAM Plus app, and we were thinking if this was a YouTube video, the whole formula we have would not function.
No, it
Because
wouldn't.
any of you younger folks out there, you watch those YouTube videos, they always start with, "What's up, guys?" And like that's how we'd have to start, and we'd have to encourage you to subscribe and
heart attack
smash that
every
like
morning,
button.
Chris.
Yeah. We'd be out of energy, though. The
We
energy
would.
in those YouTube videos, we would be exhausted after the first 15 minutes at this time of day. Thankfully, this is not just exclusively a YouTube video, so we don't have to worry about that. But we still want you to subscribe to our
Yes, we
KOAM
do, of
YouTube
course.
channel. And we want you to get that KOAM Plus app because you can stream our newscasts as they happen.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at that forecast. We're going to start here with a look from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. It looks a little funky because we've got a little bit of fog. If you look back toward Messenger Towers and the U.S. Bank building, you can see it's a little hazier back there, some patchy fog. The RDOT camera in Bentonville, I-49 and 8th Street, some light fog out there as well. And the KDOT camera in Pittsburgh, take a look at this view. It's changed. We could see clearly a moment ago. Now we're starting to see that fog thicken up out there. And the fog tracker showing us Miami, 0 visibility. So if you're on I-44 on the Will Rogers Turnpike, if you're on 69, 60, heading out to the west, you need to slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. The densest fog has really been right here along Kansas-Oklahoma border and points south. And we're getting some dense fog in the parts of Elk County as well. And we've got patchy fog across the area. Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear for the time being, but again, that's going to change a little later today. Temperatures this morning, upper 50s and low to even mid 60s for some of us out there. So again, not a bad start, about where we should be. Kids getting on the bus, about 61, calm winds, mostly cloudy skies with some of that patchy fog out there. And as that bus brings them home, again, a few pop-up storms for our southern counties along the Kansas-Oklahoma border and then along and south of I-44. 77 north breeze at 5 to 10. Highs today, upper 70s, some of us close to 80. Again, a few isolated pop-up showers and storms. No severe weather expected, which is good news. We're going to take a complete look at your forecast, talk about the weekend and our thunderstorm chances next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. A Joplin man is killed in a crash Wednesday evening off Black Cat Road as his pickup crashed over the guardrail 35 feet below to Turkey Creek. A man fishing witnessed the victim, Darren Shockley, 33, being ejected from the Chevy Avalanche as it overturned off the bridge to the water below. Carl Junction Fire Department recovered the body from the water. Missouri State Highway Patrol tells us investigation now reveals alcohol played a factor in the fatal crash. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. A land development project may be the biggest the city of Joplin has seen in more than 50 years. Property developer Woodsania Real Estate Incorporated proposed an approximately $375 million mixed-use development. If built, it would be the largest such project in the city of Joplin since 2011's tornado, or even since the opening of the North Park Mall in 1972. The project, dubbed Prospect Village, will redevelop more than 78 acres to include a large indoor and outdoor sports complex, parkland, and a trail with water features, anchor retail space, 350 units of multifamily housing, hotels, and additional retail spaces. The project will be located on the former site of the International Paper Company, land which has been unused for decades. The Joplin City Council will hear the full proposal at their May 20th meeting. Planned Parenthood is expanding their services into southeast Kansas this fall. Comprehensive Health of Planned Parenthood Great Plains announced a new health center in Pittsburgh. The clinic will offer abortion services, STI and HIV testing, and more. In August 2022, 55% of Crawford County voters supported protecting abortion access. Pittsburgh citizens remain split on the issue and now on the future clinic.
In Wichita, you know, there's a lot of people coming to that area for those services, and of course I'm not for abortion, so.
But a few Kansans don't speak for all of us.
I hope so. It would be closer to home, wouldn't it?
The center will be the 4th Planned Parenthood clinic in Kansas. Kansas is getting ready to kick off the 100th Route 66 anniversary celebration. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
This is a big season for tourism. This from about April to September, October, we get a lot of tourism on Route 66. So that's a yearly thing that happens.
But this year, things are getting bigger as tourists are gearing up for America's Main Street Centennial in a year and a half.
We have lots of car clubs coming through. We have lots of people from out of the country that come through, and they stop at a lot of the major destinations all along Route 66.
Kansas' 13.2 miles of Route 66 is being revitalized for the upcoming extra influx, expected to start soon. From getting new paint on the pavement to having new signs for travelers to enjoy.
Now I'm walking through, but you can also drive through one of the new attractions on Route 66 here in Galena that is nearby, an attraction that is very familiar to Route 66 lovers.
The new sign is still a work in progress. It sits next to cars on the route, a popular spot for pictures. Another smaller shield will be placed on Galena's Main Street. The goal of both is the same.
It brings more attention to an iconic, historic piece of Americana, and it needs to be saved because there's more people that are interested in it. And it does hold so much history that a lot of our young generations don't know about.
Considered the protector of some Kansas Route 66 attractions, Jim Walker invites not only travelers, but also locals to explore the piece of history in southeast Kansas.
Well, they'll get to see this little park, cars on the route, Aaron's gas station up here 1 block, Rainbow Curve Bridge, come right into Baxter Visitor Center, take it right into Oklahoma.
The coolest thing are the people that you're going to meet. It's not so much what we have, but what the others come to see here. And we can learn just as much from them as they can from our heritage and what we have here.
For Walker, it is hard to choose between one attraction.
What's your favorite part?
Everything.
In Galena, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Galena will hold an event later today to reveal one of their 2 new Route 66 signs. A Lifetime Achievement Award will also be presented to Dean Crazy Legs Walker. The event will also have live music and food. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, some asylum seekers will now have their cases resolved within 180 days to see if they qualify. Plus, Trump's ex-attorney and fixer Michael Cohen was back on the stand in Trump's hush money trial. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look at the Cornell Complex before tomorrow's Joplin Memorial Run. Topping Nation Watch this morning, May 17th is an important day in American history. It's the 70th anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. The landmark Supreme Court decision paved the way for more equal and integrated schools. The ruling declared separate but equal education unconstitutional in the United States. Progress has undoubtedly been made over the decades. However, advocates say the fight for desegregation is far from over. Research shows many school districts today remain racially segregated, and some may be more segregated now than they were 30 years ago. According to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, there are currently more than 200 open school desegregation cases currently on the federal docket. Some asylum seekers will now have their cases resolved within 180 days as to whether they qualify to stay in the U.S. or not. The announcement made yesterday by the Department of Homeland Security and the Justice Department will shorten the process for migrants by months or even years. The new court docket applies to migrants who have illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexico border and are headed to either Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, or New York City. It only applies to single adults. About 10 immigration judges have been tasked with working on asylum cases as soon as this week. Former President Donald Trump's ex-attorney and fixer Michael Cohen was back on the stand in Trump's hush money trial, facing cross-examination on Thursday. He'll face more questions Monday for a fourth day, and closing arguments are expected likely early next week. CBS News correspondent Jared Hill has more on the trial from New York.
Former President Donald Trump closely watched as his defense team questioned Michael Cohen about his criminal history and history of lies, attempting to undermine Cohen's testimony. Cohen admitted to lying under oath.
Last time I appeared before Congress, I came to protect Mr. Trump. Today, I am here to tell the truth.
The defense also played audio from Cohen's podcast.
You better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to me and my family.
The trial appears to be drawing closer to a conclusion.
The more that the defense spends cross-examining Michael Cohen, the more I think this really is their case and their theory, which is if you don't believe Michael Cohen, if you think he lied, then don't convict.
Trump has denied he did anything wrong as he faces 34 felony counts. As he remains under a gag order, Trump was again joined at the courthouse by congressional Republicans.
This is a kangaroo court, pure and simple.
Their appearance drew condemnation from some House Democrats.
You missed some votes. Yeah, you weren't here. You didn't show up for votes.
The trial will take a break today to allow Trump to attend his son Barron's high school graduation in Florida. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The former president will also headline a GOP fundraising dinner in Minnesota tonight. He could still take the stand in his own defense, but sources say that's unlikely. Now to look at some of today's top national stories, here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a foggy start for most of us out there now. The fog overspreading the area. Our camera at 7th and Rangeline looking clear at this point. But if we look at the fog tracker, you can see Miami reporting zero visibility still. The densest fog along the Kansas-Oklahoma border and those surrounding counties out there, but patchy fog across the region. This fog will eventually burn off and give way to some pretty decent skies, partly cloudy, a little bit of sunshine, and then we've got pop-up storm chances later this afternoon for some of us. We'll look at that forecast in detail here in just a few more minutes on the KOAM Morning News.
An opossum has been faking his death over and over again, and it has the internet dying of laughter. Carson the opossum has lived at a Tennessee rescue facility for about a month, and every time the shelter director comes near him, he plays dead. Jeannie Moose has more on Carson's Oscar-worthy performances.
The phrase playing possum takes on a whole new life when you see Carson the opossum dying over and over again.
So there he is, dead again. We're just gonna leave our little dead friend right there. Hey, I know that half the internet is here right now just to see Carson die. I can see that he's doing very well, other than being dead.
This orphaned opossum came to Tennessee's For Fox's Sake Wildlife Rescue, and instantly,
This excessive salivation that you see, he's about to finish dying for me again.
Carson began playing dead every time director Juniper Russo came near him. Sure, other opossums play dead out of dread, but at least you catch them looking alive sometimes, not Carson.
So how many times has he died on you?
Probably about 150.
And the internet loves it. R.I.P. Carson. Same time tomorrow? It's an involuntary defensive reaction. He gets stiff or floppy, stops blinking, tends to drool. Carson is a contradiction.
He's dead and he's healthy.
Have you ever thought he was actually dead?
There was one time I ran and got the stethoscope and listened to his lungs and heart. He was completely fine.
Fans like to catch Carson faking a quivering lip, a telltale blink. Juniper once glimpsed him running on an exercise wheel, but by the time she started recording, he was standing up dead. But what's another nail in the coffin of a possum playing dead? Chinimos.
You enjoy being dead in here, okay? I'll see you tomorrow.
CNN, New York.
Well, here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
I'm certainly not playing dead, but I have felt that before, Carson. I get it completely. We got some patchy fog out there this morning, watching the possibility for some pop-up storms later. The latest on that forecast when we come back.
It all starts.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's coming up on 6:22 now here on this finally Friday. Live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Got the sun coming out, so mostly cloudy skies still, and still some patchy fog out there. Our camera 7th and range line. Another view. Again, you can see some of the haze. Fog not overly dense in Joplin at this point, or in Neosho. We're looking pretty good as well, but still some haze out there with this fog. But take a look at the KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh. Visibility now in Pittsburgh down to 0.2 of a mile, which is very obvious here. So headlights on, slower speeds. Remember, low beams, not your high beams. Just look at that fog tracker. It's almost like a shield all over southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and starting to spread into southwest Missouri now. Fort Scott, 0.6 of a mile. Again, Pittsburgh, 0.2. Miami up to 1/10. Visibility is reduced. Independence, Parsons, Fredonia, Iola, Veneta, Nowata. If you're heading west this morning, you need to be prepared to slow down out there with that dense fog. All right, Skywatch Storm Tracker. Again, it is clear for the time being, but that will change later today as we're expecting some pop-up storms. The best chances are going to be along the Kansas-Oklahoma border and then along and south of I-44 on the Missouri side of things. And it'll be after about noon today that we'll see a few of these isolated to widely scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Now, the good news is we're... I apologize for that unsatisfactory result. Anyway, let me get refocused here. These showers and storms, the good news is we're not expecting any severe weather with any of this activity. And that's fantastic news given all the severe weather we've seen. Now, here's the other part of this. With how isolated these are going to be, a lot of us are going to have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. So look at Chanute, 79 by 7. By 7. Some of you out there could reach 80 degrees today with those clear skies and ample sunshine. We go through the evening, we clear out, we're looking great, and our Saturday looking fantastic, but also considerably warmer across the area. Quick look at current conditions. 62 in Joplin. It is again mostly cloudy. We've got that fog down to about 4 miles of visibility. The winds are calm. Temperatures around the region still holding out into the upper 50s and low to mid 60s out there, so not a bad start to our day. And we'll be warmer again. We're going to be warmer today, therefore we're going to warm up a little faster this morning. Low 70s by 11 o'clock. Fog should burn off by 8, 9 at the latest and be partly cloudy. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to be partly cloudy, mostly clear in some cases, and we've got those pop-up storms in our southern counties, those highs for most of us into the upper 70s. Again, some of you might reach 80 degrees. We'll be mostly clear through the late evening hours and overnight, falling back into the low 60s. And as we head into the weekend, again, mostly clear skies, maybe a stray cloud or two Saturday, Sunday. 82 Saturday, look at that, 87 on Sunday. Thunderstorm chances next Monday and Tuesday. We're watching the possibility of maybe a strong or potentially severe storm Monday or Tuesday. We'll have a pause on Wednesday, and then we're keeping an eye on those thunderstorm chances toward the end of next week, as at least at this point, it looks like we could see some strong, possibly severe storms to close out the week. Still several days away. A lot of things can change. We'll keep an eye on that for you. That's Check Your Forecast. Now we're send it over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Men are at a greater risk than women for serious complications from diabetes. A study published in the British Medical Journal found while men and women have similar rates of diabetes, men have higher risks for cardiovascular disease, leg, foot, and kidney complications, and retinopathy. The study authors say men tend to be less likely to make lifestyle changes or get health checks. Why can some people control their eating and others can't? A study by Northwestern said it could be due to our differences in our brains. They found a connection in the brain between the sense of smell and behavior motivation. Some people have a weaker connection between these two regions, making food smell appetizing even when they're full. And scientists say they've made progression towards creating a vaccine for HIV. Using a technique called a germline targeting, they've helped induce cells in the bodies of monkeys and mice to help create HIV antibodies. The study's authors say more studies need to be done, but the results are promising. May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month, and according to braintumor.org, the 5-year survival rate for those diagnosed with glioblastoma is 6.9%. The average length of survival is less than a year. Star Connor introduces us to one patient in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, who beat those odds twice.
At the age of 27, life changed for Brian Anderson. He says it all started with headaches, but then turned into something more serious.
I did the MRI, and when I got out, the text, it was obvious something was wrong. And I know it was stage 4 glioblastoma.
The aggressive brain tumor has affected Brian in many ways.
Because I have vision loss. I lost 3/4 of the vision in my left eye. I have confusion. I have short-term memory, even today, that affects just daily life.
Dr. Glenn Lesser, who works with Anderson on treatments and routine checkups, says his patient is a unique case.
This is a terrifically terrible disease for most of the patients afflicted. And unfortunately, they don't have or enjoy the kind of long-term survival that Brian's been able to have.
Dr. Lesser says there are 20 to 24,000 new cases a year with diagnosis of this tumor across the U.S.
Glioblastoma is the most aggressive, but also the most common one we see in adults.
Anderson says after being diagnosed in 2009, he wasn't expecting the cancer to return in 2020. He says having a great support system has been his healing process throughout his journey.
I just have a drive to share my situation with others and help them in any way I can to support them. Because as I say, without the support I have, without my support circle, this would be a whole different fight, and I don't know that I would be here.
Anderson leaves with a message for everyone.
Know your body. If anything's different, go see a doctor.
Anderson is currently cancer-free. His new goal is to go back to school so he can get his master's in social work so he can help other cancer patients. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
In the heart of Grove, Oklahoma, on the Wheel of Fortune.
Right now at 6:30, a petition calling for an audit of Carterville, Missouri hits the desk of the city's mayor.
We've got dense fog starting to overspread parts of the area. Then we've got pop-up shower and thunderstorm chances later today for some of us. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a statue which was stolen nearly a year ago has been replaced thanks to the Kiwanis Club of Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Friday here in the 4 states. Made it through another week, and we've got an absolutely beautiful weekend ahead of us.
It looks like it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait.
Oh, me either. I know a lot of you folks out there can't wait for the weekend. Unfortunately, we still got to get through today. We got some fog to contend with. We do have a few isolated storms we may have to contend with later today as well. But the good news is no severe weather expected. This is what we're dealing with right now, though. Most of the area is dealing with dense fog. This is the KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh, and as you can see, visibilities are significantly reduced out there. So you got to slow down, use your low beams, not your high beams. Believe it or not, I just checked, no new dense fog advisories, but look at all of this across southeast Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and progressively trying to creep into southwest Missouri. Some very dense fog on a number of the major roadways out there. So if you are traveling west, basically at this point, if you're long and west of I-49, you need to slow down. Again, use your low beams, not your high beams. Give yourself time to get where you're going because there's some dense fog that we are going to have to contend with this morning. Right now, Skywatch Storm Tracker in our immediate area is clear, and it's going to remain that way through most of the morning and into the very early afternoon. Temperatures around the area still some upper 50s, most of us low to mid 60s, and that is ahead of what is going to be a warmer day for us, a little closer to normal. Some of you may be a bit above normal. Kids getting on the bus about 61, mostly cloudy skies, going to have to deal with that fog. The winds will be calm when that bus brings them home this afternoon. Again, some of us mainly in our southern counties. So essentially, if you're along the Kansas-Oklahoma border and if you head due east and you were to run into I-44 along and south of I-44, that's going to be the best opportunity for a pop-up shower or storm this afternoon. 77, north breeze 5 to 10. Highs today, upper 70s. And again, because if you are north of the areas I just mentioned, your skies will be mostly clear to partly cloudy. You could reach about 80 degrees out there, but on average, we're looking at upper 70s across the area. And again, some pop-up storms in our southern counties later this afternoon. We'll take another full look at this forecast, break down those thunderstorm chances the weekend and storm chances next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon. Well, if you get a text saying you owe money to a road toll collection service, be careful. Southwest Missouri's Regional Better Business Bureau warns it might be a scam. The message includes a link to settle your balance, which appears to be from a state toll service, but actually is not. If you click the link and provide your personal and payment information on the website, scammers could now have access to that information and you may have lost some money.
So delete it, mark it as junk, block the number if possible, and then please do report it to BBB. Go to bbb.org/scam tracker to make that report.
If you receive a text message impersonating a road toll collection service, you can file a report with the BBB Scam Tracker. A petition drive to audit the city of Carterville, Missouri has found its way to the mayor's office. Carterville Mayor Alan Griffin says the audit would cost the city between $45,000 and $65,000. Citizens in favor of the audit say talks of audit costs distracts from the issue of years of alleged unexplained financial shortfalls.
And that's their right to do so. And it's going to happen. Whether, I like it or not, I don't really feel like they're going to find anything significant. Of course, their job is to find something. And I'm sure they will find, little minor things here and there. I don't know of an audit that's ever come back just clean.
Griffin says he's not sure when the audit will take place. The Joplin City Council has approved providing free curbside cleanup for Joplin residents following the May 6th tornado. Residents will have till June 3rd to move all limbs and foliage to their curb. The city asks that all debris be located along the curb, not blocking streets or sidewalks. A contractor will begin removing debris on Monday, June 3rd, and will work with city crews to help create a more efficient process. Well, this month's third Thursday theme was Everything Route 66. South Main Street was lined with specially detailed cars, new and old school models, all in attendance for the event. Fans, food vendors alike, all showcasing their talents as well. You could say that's what people came for.
My favorite thing about Third Thursday is the food, because I become a food critic, the food critic, not a food critic, the food critic. I go to every place as often as I can. I like to go to different spots every Third Thursday, but unfortunately last Third Thursday, it rained, everybody shut down early, but today I'm here. I'm here for it today, that's for sure. I'm eating everything.
This sounds like a pretty good plan. Next month's theme is You Belong Celebration. The Joplin Public Library welcomes back a couple of familiar faces. The Two Kids on Bench statue, which was stolen nearly a year ago, has been replaced thanks to the Kiwanis Club of Joplin. The club facilitated the donation, making the replacement statue possible. While an arrest was made quickly by the Joplin Police Department and the suspect is awaiting trial, the original statue was never recovered. Although the new statue was installed yesterday, an official dedication ceremony will be held Monday at 1 p.m. at the Joplin Public Library. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. If it's Friday, you know what that means. We've got Shannon Becker live in studio to help us close out the week with his big three news stories. And we have a chance of a few pop-up showers today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look of the Cornell Complex before the Joplin Memorial Run. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big three news stories of the week. Good morning to you, Shannon. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Super good.
Wonderful.
Ready for that Joplin Memorial Run tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic.
Let's take a look at the big three live and local stories of the week. It was night before last. Joplin Police Captain Davis updates us what happened on South Wall. A Porsche traveling well over 100 miles an hour, struck a building after hitting a little bit of a bump. Sometimes people kind of speed up, kind of jump that little thing. That's a little too much. They ripped the front end off of the car. The motor and the transmission were about a block away from the car, which was down further north on 12th and South Wall. The driver was still talking. He is stable, Captain Davis tells us. And then the passenger, critical but stable condition at an area hospital. We expect more information coming up on that story, DWI crash investigation. Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now, a gas leak. You remember this happened the other day at the Walmart. I've never seen a Walmart close down for 2 hours, 2 full hours.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of time.
Yeah. They were investigating. Employees had said through the morning, oh, we're not feeling well.
Oh, wow.
Kind of in a back
Yes.
area like the deli and bakery area. And someone called the fire department who came out and checked it, and it had a large, an over amount of natural gas. 8 people were treated. Some of them were transported to the hospital. I think at least 4 were transported to the hospital for this gas leak. They figured out it was caused of an installation of a new oven, I believe.
Oven in the bakery, I believe, yes.
So that has been fixed. No one shopping was injured or hurt.
Wonderful.
Experienced any stuff. How about number 1? Let's get to that. A school bus. Oh my goodness. I hope it's not a trend. Not related to last week's school bus crash. This happened after the Mount Vernon baseball team had left district play in Seneca. They were traveling north on 43 Highway. The driver, who is also a coach, experienced a medical emergency, went off the road at highway speeds. They were saying 65 mile an hour and hit a culvert, ramped, and then landed in the other side. I mean, that is crazy.
It is quite crazy. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
When I pulled up, I was like, were any kids on there, I wonder? And there are literally 24 baseball players standing around. Yeah. Only one was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and also the coach was checked out. He was fine as well. And then our bonus story, I don't know, does this disappoint you?
It doesn't disappoint me.
Okay, I know a lot of people.
From our director, Tim, that it disappoints him.
A lot of people. Closed for business. Fazoli's has been a pleasure serving our guests who become friends and family over 25 years, but it's time to say our goodbyes. We're grateful for everyone. Fazoli's is owned here in Joplin by a company in Springfield. We reached out to them for comment to see what was happening, but we have not heard back.
Okay.
We heard after business hours, so they will probably contact us today. Unknown why they closed. I didn't go there a lot. I don't know why, but perhaps if everybody did, they wouldn't have closed.
Yes, perhaps so.
It's your fault.
It's our fault. It's both our faults.
It's my fault. So we'll find out more. If you had gift cards, you can use them at their 2 Springfield locations.
Okay.
So I know they're still open.
Yes.
You know, that's a guarantee that they're still open.
I think there's some in Kansas City area as well.
Yeah, but these 3 are owned by the same company.
By the
it's
same
not
company.
Like the company is closing all of them. So then check it out on our website, KOAM News Now. It's our big 3 stories of the week. The
Absolutely.
bonus.
Thank you so much, Shannon. As always, stick around. We'll be right back.
All right, time for some Friday birthdays in the 4 states, starting in Fairview with Valerie celebrating birthday number 3. It says, happiest 3rd birthday to our sweet little Valerie. Love you with all of our hearts, Papa, Dusty, and Gigi Joe.
And over in St. Paul, a happy 5th birthday to Adeline Winter.
And in Chanute, Kinley Zubek celebrating birthday number 12. A very happy birthday to you, Kinley.
And over in Frontenac, looks like we've got some triplets here. Alana Tenley and Ella Sullivan are all celebrating their 17th birthday. It says regional softball champions headed to state next week. Good luck and happy birthday.
And we just had that story on triplets and
yes,
and
we
twins.
Did.
We did.
Yes.
So what are the odds? Well, very happy birthday to you
Absolutely.
all. We also have Brianna Bond celebrating birthday number 18 in Frontenac. Says birthday and graduation on the same day. Happy birthday and congratulations, B. Love you bunches from your family.
And over in Carl Junction, a happy 35th birthday to Chris Dooley.
And we've got Rod Watson in Weir celebrating birthday number 58. Happy birthday, Rod.
And a happy birthday to Bernice Shields, turning 88 today from Chanute.
And we have Kathy Swathwood from Columbus celebrating another year wiser. Very happy birthday to you, Kathy.
And over in Miami, a happy birthday to Sherry Nita.
And we also have DJ and Leslie Miner celebrating in Columbus. They share the same birthday, not necessarily the same age.
Oh,
so
fun.
a very happy birthday to DJ and Leslie Maya. I've heard of that happening.
Yes.
Your little sister, your little brother is born on the same day,
Yes.
just a few years later. So
How
very
fun.
happy birthday to them.
Absolutely. And Drew and Ashton Lovell from Arma are celebrating their 5th anniversary today. Happy anniversary.
And our list continues with Abigail Durbin celebrating another year wiser. A very happy birthday to you, Abigail.
And over in Crestline, a happy 80th birthday to Joyce Palmer.
And we've got Cindy Dean in Oswego celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Cindy.
And last but not least, over in Columbus, Seth Ralsto is turning 22 today. Happy birthday, Seth.
All right, that was a great list of
That
birthdays
was,
and
yes,
anniversaries. We've said it
absolutely.
before, we want all of these birthday lists to be like that. Elise, how can they help us fulfill our dreams?
Go ahead and do that by submitting your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those photos and birthday messages if you so desire, and to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
Absolutely, and that's just to make sure that your birthday and or anniversary airs at the right time. Let's talk about some stuff. We've got things going on. The good news is, and I want to emphasize this first, no severe weather expected today. We just have a lot of chaotic things happening right now. We've got dense fog across the area to start our day, and then we've got the opportunity for pop-up storms by the afternoon for some of us. And then our weekend looks great for all of us. Let's start with this. This is a look from our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. About 5-6 minutes ago, you actually could barely see downtown. That fog really thickened up, but it is beginning to burn off, getting a little more sunlight out there. Still mostly cloudy. This is our camera, 7th and Range Line, and you can see that dense fog off in the horizon. It's creating for a beautiful view of the sunrise, though, this morning. Looking great. Neosho also seen some improvements on the fog. Just still mostly cloudy, though. The MoDOT camera down there. And Pittsburgh, still fairly dense fog south of Pittsburgh here on the KDOT camera at 69 East 520th Avenue, as the densest fog has been into Kansas and Oklahoma throughout the morning. It's been trying to creep in to southwest Missouri, so along and west of I-49, generally along and west of I-49 is where the densest fog has been. Right now, 69 corridor, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Miami, Grove, all reporting significantly reduced visibilities. Miami reporting 0, but you can see where all of this dense fog is out there. So again, slow down. Use your low beams, not your high beams. Give yourself time to get where you're going, especially if you are out traveling to the west, or for perhaps if you're in the west and you're heading east, you need to be prepared for that. Skywatch Storm Tracker, again, is clear across our area for now, but later today, and this is a great map to be able to show some of this, right through here, this zone here and points south will have an opportunity for some pop-up showers and storms as we head into the afternoon. Again, not anticipating any severe weather, but we could see a stray shower or storm. And that's the other thing. These are going to be pop-up, which means they're going to be very isolated in nature. Additionally, if you are along this point north, you're not going to see anything. Your chances of seeing anything at all are extremely low, just about 0, and that's going to allow you to see a little more sunshine, maybe get a little warmer out there as well. So by about noon, we'll see a few of those showers. By 2, we're seeing a few more pop-up showers, and again, maybe a thunderstorm or 2, and you can see where most of this is confined in this corridor and points south. And as we head later into the evening, by 7, the last of these pop-up showers will be out of here. Now, something else to keep in mind too, when it comes to pop-up showers and storms, the Future Track does its best to estimate where they're going to be. It's easier for the Future Track and other computer models in general, really, to pick up on lines of storms or big severe weather events. This is a little more difficult. Pop-up storms, they can happen at any point, anywhere. So the Future Track, just because it shows it right here at this time, doesn't mean we'll have a shower right there. That shower may end up showing up over by Veneta. But just to keep in mind, showers, pop-up storms as we head into the afternoon hours. Again, quick look at temperatures. There's that beautiful shot from 7th and Range Line, 62 in Joplin. The winds are calm. Our temperatures around the region are into the upper 50s and low to mid 60s out there. So a pretty decent start to the day. As we go through the morning, the fog should burn off by about 8, 9 o'clock. Will be partly cloudy, warmer, 73 by 11. We're having another look at your forecast for the rest of today and, of course, the weekend and next week as well, plus the news you need to know. And when we make the transition over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how a music program in Michigan is aimed at helping those who have served in the military.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Planned Parenthood is expanding their services into southeast Kansas this fall. Comprehensive Health of Planned Parenthood Great Plains announced a new health center in Pittsburgh. The clinic will offer abortion services, STI and HIV testing, and more. This center will be the 4th Planned Parenthood clinic in Kansas. A petition drive to audit the city of Carterville, Missouri has found its way to the mayor's office. Carterville Mayor Alan Griffin says the audit would cost the city between $45,000 and $65,000. Citizens in favor of the audit say talks of audit costs distract from the issue of years of alleged unexplained financial shortfalls. Griffin says he is not sure when the audit will take place. In Woodsonia Real Estate Incorporated is proposing an approximately $375 million mixed-use development. If built, it would be the largest project since the opening of the North Park Mall in 1972. The project will redevelop more than 78 acres into housing, recreational, and retail space. The project will be located on the former site of the International Paper Company. Now to check up today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And again, a quick reminder, along and west of I-49, dense fog out there this morning, so do slow down. Use your low beams, not your high beams out there. Watch out for that fog. After that burns off, we've got the opportunity for a couple of pop-up showers or storms along and south of I-44 and along the Kansas-Oklahoma border. Otherwise, we'll be into the upper 70s, some of us near 80, and if you're north of those areas, you'll be mostly sunny today and maybe even close to 80 out there. Mostly clear skies through the evening and overnight, falling back into the low 60s. Our weekend looks fantastic as we'll be in the 80s, pushing close to 90 on Sunday. Thunderstorm chances Monday and Tuesday, as well as next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and most of next week a bit above average as we're into the low, mid, and even upper 80s.
Alrighty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making all-in-one sausage dinner in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up, how the school district at the center of the historic Brown v. Board of Education ruling is embracing diversity 70 years later.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see why one boss took his entire company to Disney on a bet.
Plus, Shannon Becker back in the studio with this big 3 stories of the week, but that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will be back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.